Recently, we had a chat about migration, especially the manner and speed at which the youth of Nigeria are leaving the country. People move to different countries for different reasons, and we'll be discussing about that today. So, basic amenities to live a normal life seems scarce. Hence, people tend to move to countries where they can get basic human amenities. Is there an issue of brain drain from Nigeria to the West, or possibly even from Africa as a continent to the West, or anywhere else? I have a lifelong friend of mine that has joined me on this conversation to discuss this topic today, and we're also both in the energy industry. Yomi is a chief seismologist, geophysicist at the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, and is currently an MSc student at the University of Calgary. He's studying sustainable energy development. Myself, my name is Bimbola, and I'm looking forward to this chat today. And before I continue, I'd like to acknowledge the support of PaySop Invest, a global financial advisory and wealth management firm based in Germany, France, and Nigeria. So if you're looking to create generational wealth and understand how to manage your finances, feel free to contact the PaySop Invest team on paysopinvest.com and also their social media pages. They offer services to individuals and corporate bodies alike. I also like to acknowledge the author of What to Know Before Moving to Norway. That's K.B.KOLAWOLE. This can be found on Amazon. So all you need to do is just go on Amazon Books and type K.B.KOLAWOLE or Things to Know Before Moving to Norway, and you will get the book. So I'd like to welcome you listeners to Empowered by BlueSitron, a podcast where we discuss life, culture, or lifestyle, to be specific, culture and more. Right, Yomi, you're welcome.
Oh, thank you, Bimbo. Thanks for having me.
I have several names for you, so I'm gonna call you the Yomi, Yomi, or Abangwa. So whichever one I want, just be prepared.
It's totally fine.
Good. So tell me, what's going on? Why are people risking their lives to cross Atlantic to move to the West? I mean, obviously, basic needs such as electricity is a dream in Nigeria, and in fact, most sub-Sahara countries. So is this sub-Saharan Africa, to be specific, is this the reason why, or is this one of the reasons why people are doing anything they can to move to anywhere else but Africa? I mean, obviously, when you have, I would say as little as electricity, it can obviously bring up economic, development and putting an end to economic poverty or economic, challenges in a country or in the continent. Is this the reason why people are risking their lives and moving over?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the question. First of all, I wouldn't say risking, since like most of the time, if it's legal migration, people are leaving to Canada, Australia, UK, and the likes. So if it's legal, they're just in search of a better life, a better quality of life. Some people are in search of trying to split their options. Some people, there are different myriads of reasons. Some people will tell you for the family, for the children.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of different things: insecurity, power, energy, everything combined together. Because Nigeria has a huge population, most of which are young people, and finish school and there's nothing to do. So there's a school of thought, right? People want to live for a better life, which is the quality of life. The counter argument, we say that is brain drain. There's a counter argument to that, to say that the attrition rate at which people live is filled by the number of people that are probably jobless or need to have something to do. If you have to talk about medical personnel that have left. Well, the hard part is that a lot of consultants have left. Then you have a lot of junior regs and a lot of people to fill in that gap. or you don't have the consultants anymore. So there's a void in that regard. So to wrap this up, I would say people are living for better life in search of, everybody has a personal reason. If you have a family, a big family, you say, oh, for the kids, the statistics are not looking good for the near future, right? The government, the politicians, what is in sight, like even the near future and 20, 30, 50 years to come, with the population going to really explode and with barely infrastructure to support what we have now, let alone what we're going to face in the future. Then people were like, okay, let me move my kids first, right? And then, but if you don't have a job, like you just finished school, you apply, if you're able to gather money together, probably family gathering or crowdfunding or whatever, to go and study elsewhere. And then from there, you can now start to look for permanent residency and conversion to citizenship. So people want to split their options. They want to have better opportunities. And I can tell you the insecurity right now is making all this very, very bad. I can tell you, because I've been in the situation where I've had to work in the north, and it's almost like it's getting closer and closer to me. No matter the security around you, you could walk into an ambush, right? So
that's I hear you. And I do agree with you, the insecurity situation in Nigeria in this case. So I think it's best we also focus on Nigeria as a case study. It's a country we both know, it's a country we're both from. So I think that's the best case study. Yes, the insecurity is a big issue, a country that is humongous. Right now, population of Nigeria on paper is about 200 million, but in reality, because people keep asking me, oh, Bim, what's the population of Nigeria? Then I ask them, do you want on paper or do you want reality, right? It's true. In reality, I'll be double of that. I don't know. Nobody knows, right?
Nobody knows.
Yeah. So with people, young people, leaving and moving abroad or moving anywhere else because of the kids, and obviously they want to give their kids a better quality of life, possibly something apart to what they had when they were growing up, right? Because life was great in Nigeria back in the days, but it looks like it's just regressing and going backwards when a lot of other countries are moving forwards, industrializing, and there's a lot of digitalization going on in a lot of countries. And I'm not saying there isn't digitalization in Nigeria as well in some sectors, but some sectors are stuck in the 1940s even. These are the things, these are the challenges. And then the fact that, again, security is not being tackled up to par, because I bet if the way when Ebola entered the country from I think it was a Liberian that traveled in for some ECOWAS meeting or whatever, the way Ebola was arrested, the way that issue was arrested, they found all the people that were on that plane, made everyone quarantine or whatever, took the people that had it and all of that situation, put them in the hospital. I think some people passed away or what, I don't know. Of course, there was this great woman, this female doctor who also passed away. I can't remember.
Yes, Adadebo.
That woman, exactly. So the effort that was put into that, Stella, exactly. Effort that was put into that showed me something, that if something wants to be done in Nigeria, it will be done. So it feels like the whole security situation, they could not be bothered with it. Infrastructure can be done. So almost a case of, we'll just make do with whatever we want. Meanwhile, and you're right, the population is exploding. The fear, which I'm going to come back to later, the fear is the children that we're having and raising abroad are going to see Nigeria as their second country. Some of them are never even going to bother wanting to know Nigeria.
Very true.
They're never going to bother. They'll be like, oh, there's nothing there. Oh, there are animals there. They're this, there, but they don't even know the place. Why? Because their parents are also shielding them because they want to give them the best of, life, so to speak. And this is a problem. And I'm going to come back to that towards the end of our conversation, because I think that's something that needs to really, really be looked into. Okay, so I hear you, people living for better quality of life, people living for jobs, And again, still living for jobs, you use the medical guys as an example, and with no consultants, and you have just the younger ones who's training them, who are they looking up to? It's not pretty, this whole situation. It's not pretty. So why did you leave?
Oh, part of why I left is just what I said. Like, first of all, the nature of my job entailed that I work on the field. Sometimes I'm 35 days on, so I'm not at home, and I get 2 weeks off. Sometimes I stack up my days. So, well, the family still don't see me.
Yeah.
Right. So, first of all, the nature of my job was a factor. The second thing, of course, better life, better option. My wife is in the medical field, better opportunities outside. All you have to do is to integrate better, do all the exams, and it's utopia, right? Seeming to say. So then insecurity, like I said, I was working in the bushes. I was, you have security around you, but the security is never enough. So from time to time, I felt like, we were properly protected, but you still feel like, what if, So the nature of my job, opportunities for my kids, you want, like I said, the statistics is not good. You want something that they have an option. For example, my take for Canada is that you can be a citizen of another country. From there, you don't need visas to anywhere. You can, if you're a Canadian citizen or US citizen or UK citizen, you can travel anywhere. You can work anywhere. Unlike if you're Nigerian, everybody just sees the green passport. So I wanted my kids to have a second option. But of course, I also still want them to know Nigeria, like
where they are from.
Where when things get better, like you should be able to go home, see grandpa, and all of that. So it's a combination of many things for me. Then personally, professionally, I want to split my options as well. There's energy transition. We're still wallowing in doing the same things over and over. And the world is trending towards renewable energy. There's the COP26, we see where everyone is trending to. We're not even starting to look in that direction at all. So I agree. Most of the day, we're still, so if you look ahead, if you project ahead, you will see that. Like I said, for myself, I projected ahead and I saw I don't want to get obsolete. I want to remain relevant. I want to split my options. I need a better life for my family. I need to take care of insecurity so I don't get caught in the mix, right? So I moved them here like 3 years ago, and at least like most of my personal problems were solved. Didn't have to worry about who traveling to anywhere and getting stuck or getting kidnapped, So that was it for me. And so like I said, split options. I'm still working right now. I'm here.
When you say move them here, that it's to Canada. That's where
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, your points are really valid. And again, you do say split option, and also the opportunity and ability for your kids to be able to have a second home. Possibly their first home will probably always be Nigeria. I don't know.
Yes,
of course, having that second nationality, which is Canadian, opens more doors. And I agree with you. I have never seen anything green that signifies stop.
Wow,
Nigerian passport. Because green is meant to be go, right? And red is stop, right? But not with the Nigerian passport. It's an interesting one. And this is, we're having a laugh. I'm laughing about it now, but it's not funny when you actually do hold a Nigerian passport and you have to travel to different places. I know a lot of people that have the Nigerian passport only, and I know, and I've seen also the challenges that they go through. Maybe I'm traveling with friends and things like that, and some will sail through, and some will be kept, based on the immigration officer just asking random questions, just because these people have, just the green passport. I think this is a topic to talk about some other day. Why that is the issue, what can be done, what the image of the country, because if the image of the country is really nice and clean, I don't think anyone would be interested in, seeking interesting ventures anywhere else other than wanting to improve on your country, because the country is giving great things back to you. But that said, that pivots me to, you say you split your time, and that means you obviously still work at, the NNPC. And I believe with your current studies, you are on a study leave, like a sabbatical leave or something?
Yeah, like a 2-year career break.
A 2-year career break. Okay, fantastic. So you are a diasporan, right now. And if, in your view, do you think some diasporans actually want to return home? And what are the changes that can even happen in Nigeria, because we're using Nigeria as a case study, right, as an example? What are the changes that needs to happen to encourage diasporans to go back home? It's obvious, the basic amenities, again, the electricities, the infrastructures, and security. I mean, some would say, well, that's about it. That's all. That should be the main thing to make anyone want to go back. Do you have anything else in mind that would, encourage you to go back? Say, for example, you were not even working for, the national corporation, as you say.
So first of all, I would like to say that Nigeria has a lot of opportunities.
Okay.
Grossly undersaturated in terms of investment, infrastructure, a lot of business opportunities to do, but the environment must be set right. Now, I would say that, okay, the Western world, like if I say Canada, everything is taxed. There's a whole, you will understand why, right? You will see the result of what they do with that.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, there are so many things you can do, which is still undertaxed, but the government cannot overtax you anyways because the economy is really bad, right? So you get a lot of opportunities there, like to really grow investment-wise in Nigeria better than here. The risks are there. The risks are there too as well. Like really, the more opportunities, more risk. The higher the opportunities, the higher the risk. Than here. Here you tread softly, and your margins can be low, and you pay heavy tax for every dollar that you make or you earn out of investments and all. Nigeria, so many investments you do, the government doesn't see you or tax you and down. But of course, if you are living in Nigeria, you'll be fine with that. But if you had to do some conversion back to dollars, then you pay through your nose as well, because the exchange rate comes at you, right? 3 years ago, I'll tell you, 3 years ago, Canadian dollars to Nigerian naira was about 270. Some weeks ago, it was like 460. So you have close to 60% change in the last 3 years. I mean, that's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
Right? Yes. Yeah. So if you had to do that, I will also say, if you were flip-flopping, like I did a couple of times, having to travel when I was off duty, you have to book plane tickets, everything is in dollars, right? So the prices, the cost changes dramatically as for everything that you do. So you must be very aware of that if you're going to do the type of thing that I did, right? So what will make a Nigerian want to come back? First, I would say, before a Nigerian will want to come back home, he would have secured his residency or citizenship here. That's the first, because you have to have that in your pocket to be able to take more risk, right? So and there's some things that need to be set right in Nigeria. The politicians know it. I don't want to believe that the politicians and the government is naive. Everybody knows what to do, but it's just the will to do it.
The will to do it isn't there.
The corruption and the lack of consequence management. And that's what you admire, and that's what you see about the Western world. Why is it that I'm in Nigeria, I can throw away things out of my window, but the moment I cross the borders and get to another country, I see something that is not right, I pick it up and throw it in the bin? Why is that? It's still the same Nigerian, right? So that's just an example. So we need to get some things right. The first thing, right? Electricity, energy. I hear the NLC is going to go on strike. They want to remove the subsidy, the petroleum, the fuel subsidy. Everybody knows, right from the Jonathan or before the government, we knew that the subsidies had to go, right? Everybody's well aware of that. But the people do not trust the government.
Possibly the people don't understand the importance of removing the subsidy.
The people, trust me, the people understand the importance. Because when
you think so?
Yes, I know so. Okay. People don't trust the government. Believe the government the government is in a fix. That's why they're trying to do all this. Because there are no money to keep borrowing. So you know that the only way to go about it is to remove the subsidies. But before you remove the subsidies, you need to put some things in place. I work for the National Oil Company. Why are the refineries not working? I'll tell you the way it is. It is a cabal. Right? Yes.
I know.
Yes, I'll tell you that, right? And I'll say it to anybody's face. Why is the refineries, why are they not working? So before you remove subsidies, well, the NSO can hold them now and say, we know you have to remove the subsidies. It's the proper thing to do. It's the right way to go.
It's the right way to go, yeah.
But fix the refineries. But you're waiting for Dangote to get his refineries on board, right? That's a private business, remember, you know? And there's also the dangers of monopoly to that as well, which is a different kettle of fish, right? Yeah. So that's different on its own, in its own right. Now, so before a Nigerian will want to go back, you need to start to see trends in the right direction. So we just spoke about the petroleum industry. The next thing is the power sector. That seems like another rocket science again. You know, the government doesn't. I watched something on YouTube on channels. The government, the regulators, they don't even know the number. If you don't know the number of people you're planning for in terms of urban and regional planning, if you don't have the number, you don't know how many people live on a particular street, you don't know how many people live in a particular house. How do you even put a transformer to cater to the number of people you do not know?
True.
All these are based on calculations. If I calculate a particular region, and the lack of urban and regional plan, we just build haphazardly. There is an estate and there's supposed to be bungalows. There are lots of land, and people put scrapers, 5-story building, 10-story building, and the transformer that is there is meant for just bungalows of a row of 30 houses, and you have 150 houses there. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
You know, so it's a combination of many things. The energy sector, the power sector, and then you now free up funds to be able to take care of critical infrastructure that needs to be in place. Nigeria is not, in terms of land mass, Nigeria is not it's not a very big country. We only have the population and extremely high population density. So it can be done.
It can be done.
Well, an example is Abuja. Abuja was done, right?
Yeah.
So we know what is right. We know what needs to be done.
So why are they not doing it then?
It's like I said,
it's a cabal.
It's lack of consequence management. People can steal and get away with it.
Yeah, and that's for sure.
Another question is, have we ever wondered why is it that we have Nigerians that are doing very well in the US? Nigerians are the most educated immigrant population in the US. It's on record.
In the world, even.
Yes. Yeah. So now we have
come to the UK, they're everywhere.
So why is it that you bring the same Nigerian over to come and manage a ministry, and before you know it, it's embezzling in billions?
Wow.
Why? Because nothing happens. It's political, it's corruption, it's everything. There is no consequence management. You get away with it, right? There was one of the British prime ministers that spoke to the Queen, and Nigerians got angry on social media that he said Nigeria was fantastically corrupt.
David Cameron.
If the UK
but he caused Brexit. He caused Brexit.
Well, that's a different story.
That's a different story anyway.
Yeah. So you see in that line. So, and he said if the volume or the amount of money that was stolen in Nigeria was stolen in the UK will cease to exist. They know that, right? They know. That's so true. From the basic principle that it is not how much you earn that matters, right? You can earn 5 million naira if you want, but that's not it's how much you're able to hold and save and invest and use and get from. So it's not how much you earn. So that's the Nigerian story, right? So people need to see that there's a trend of hope in front. Then you can now see. And I think it happened before, I think in India or some places where a lot of migration to the UK, and when things started getting better, the same people would start coming home and start setting up businesses and
businesses,
entrepreneurship
right?
opportunities.
Yeah.
So
because Nigeria has a way of frustrating people when they actually start, businesses back home. It's just tiring.
About 2 weeks ago, there was a lecture I had by Clyde Martin, the ex-MD of Shell. And he says he's been to a lot of poor countries, about 50 poor countries. So many, he's been everywhere. That out of all the countries he has been to in the whole world, Nigeria is the most corrupt country.
Oh my God.
And I was in the class.
Oh my God.
So right? But he wasn't part of the truth, right? So
it's really sad. It's sad. So we've spoken about quite a bit of stuff now, and a lot of things to look into. But there's one thing that I think we should talk about, and it all boils down to all this, infrastructure challenges, the corruption, everything. Is there a fear that we will become tenants in our own home? Let me explain what I mean by that.
I think I get it.
China is investing heavily in Africa. But possibly some of these African countries are not reading the fine lines. They're not reading the fine prints before jumping in and, taking the loans because the interest rates are probably low. I don't know, And then we are leaving Nigeria. Our kids are being raised in another country. I don't know if, some people, I don't know if they teach their kids their original language, or maybe they just let them speak English or French or whatever, But of course, what can connect kids back home is the language, and possibly, of course, some, way of life and all of that, the good parts, right? But then, you have China going in droves, obviously securing their own future, energy security and the likes, investing in countries in Africa, building airports, building railroads, building a lot of stuff. And our own president, or whoever is there, seems to be taking lots of loans from China. So do you think one day Africans, or Nigeria in this case, will go back home one day and then it'll be gone? Uganda I don't know if that is a fact now, but it was in the news about 2 weeks ago that China may take over their airports because they could not service a loan. You have Zambia, their radio station also, and their power station also belongs to China, or maybe some Chinese companies, I don't know, but basically nutshell, China, and you just hear a lot of things and you just have China everywhere. So does that mean China is gradually recolonizing Africa, if that's the term? What are your views? Do we want to go back to whenever we're ready? Because you did mention about India, right?
Yes.
Was India taking loans from people or not? I mean, from countries or not? And were they able to, even if they did, were they able to pay back? In this case, Africa is on a borrowing spree. And if I limit it to Nigeria, we don't even see what they're borrowing for. Because people keep leaving. Because if the infrastructure is there, if the electricity is there, and security is looked into, people would not leave. Are we going to have a home eventually?
Well, at some point, we would have to take the bull by the horn, right? That's the people.
Yeah.
Maybe we haven't gotten to a tipping point yet. But
when would we get to a tipping point?
Yeah, it is bad.
Should we get to the tipping point before we then do something? Do you understand?
Yes, Nigerians are known to be the most resilient people. Like we're very strong-willed. At the same time, the bad side is that we are very docile when it comes to things like this, right? And you see, Bella said it, and it's still happening. So with China, there is something called the Belt and Road Initiative.
Right.
Now, China has a strategy, and this is a state strategy. It is directly from the top. for every Chinese company, they have a political head, which is different for all the Chinese companies. Most of the Chinese national companies, they have a political head, which is different from the CEO. And the political head, is in touch with the president, right? Now, so they control things from the top. They have a strategy, a Belt and Road Initiative, that's what they call it. And if you go on the internet and see what the structure is and see how they plan to build infrastructure that covers from their end to several continents, right? To do that, if you don't have the funds, they'll build it, right?
Right.
And now, it's an economic strategy to spread their tentacles as much as they can.
Okay.
Right. And the place with the weakest link, seeming to say, is Africa.
Right.
So it's easy to give Africans money, right? But China never gives you free money. They don't give you free loan. They don't write off your debts. They just make you sign. And when you can't meet up to the obligations, financial obligations, they take over willingly, and you would allow them because you have signed the document. So that is what is happening. You see there's some seaports, some places in Africa, which China has taken over, some airports, lots of things. I saw one, I don't know how as ridiculous as it seems, like a police station. I don't know how true that is.
A police station?
Yes, so you can browse it. I can't confirm the authenticity of that particular news, but you can check it online, and so if it, so they have a strategy to spread it. They have a huge population.
They do. Yeah.
The middle class is growing very strong. Even the energy needs, as your middle class grows, your energy needs increases. The same with China and all. So even when we're talking about the climate change practices, they're still building coal plants and all of that, conversion of coal plants to natural gas plants to create energy for the population that is growing, right? The middle class that is growing. So they're getting richer and richer by the day, which is not bad. But they also have a strategy to spread their tentacles everywhere. So if you're not financially disciplined as a country, if you don't have your house in order, you will fall for it. There is nothing wrong in getting a loan. In fact, the richest men in the world will tell you that use the bank's money to do your business, right? Never use your money, right? But when in Africa, we collect loans and embezzle, right? In Nigeria, but if you collect the loans and the loans can repay itself and be profitable, then that's when you can say that you justified collection of the loans. So it's an economic strategy, and it's a trap that Africans are falling for because there's nowhere else to go. Right?
Is no one advising all these African countries on what things really are? It's people in the continent I don't know.
It's a lack of patriotism, it's greed, it's lack of consequence management. Like I said, you do it and get away with it. It's my political party. Sometimes it gets to the ethnic part of it, like my thief is better than your thief. Yes, it's my brother. Your brother did the same as well. So all sorts of slogans, and that's why we are in this mess, so to say. So if it's for Nigeria, if we keep borrowing, like I remember my MBA class, part of what I think there was a course, debt to revenue ratio, debt to for every 1 naira we get to use about 70 kobo to repay our debts, right?
Are you serious?
Yes, and that was some years back, so maybe it's probably worse now. So if we're left with 30 kobo for every 1 naira, right? 30%. If we're left with 30%, that 30% is to use to service the government with a huge civil servant population. So how much percentage do we have for critical infrastructure to actually grow the economy? Right? So you see why people are starting to leave. If you project ahead and you see the near future, and we keep going on in these trends, keep borrowing, and they don't care, because in a couple of years, 1-2 years, they're out of it. Another government comes in. It's now your cross to carry, right? So They don't care. Nothing happens if I embezzle the monies. All the monies for their electricity that was supposed to have done years to come. Equipments were left lying fallow at the ports. People embezzled funds. Nothing happened.
It's a joke.
Yeah,
it's
still
really
happening,
a joke.
Right?
Yeah.
You know? And if we go too political, people will say, "Oh, the Jonathan government and the boy." I'm like, please don't compare the devil and the deep blue sea. None is better, right? You don't have to stoop so low to be blindsided and not even know what is right anymore. Yeah. Because right now you take anything, right? So we need to start to get some things right. The first, that's some major things. The energy, right? Let the refineries work. Two, you have to take care of the electricity, right? If you there's a picture from space and at night, and if you see the picture of space of the Earth at night, you'll see the places that were lit up were the countries that were doing well, and the places that were not lit up were in darkness, and those are the poor countries. Now you know what I mean. So if we don't start to go in that direction, I'm not even sure our kids will want to go back home when the time comes. Right? That's why we brought them here in the first place, to take them out of the mess. Like, because you see, it's going to crumble if nothing happens. The population is huge. It's only going to grow bigger, and we're not doing anything about it. We keep borrowing. How do we pay?
Yomi, thank you so much. This is a very deep conversation. Honestly, it's quite thought-provoking. It's something, I would love people that listen to this conversation to put in your comments. Let's hear what you have to say. Send in your questions. Yomi and I would definitely come back to have more, maybe answer your questions, have more discussions on this, and other people as well will join us likewise, because this is very, very deep. It's a problem that needs to start being looked into. Otherwise, it's like the Titanic. It's going to sink if something is not done. It's not going to be able to stand for too long. And as you say, when the time comes, the kids may just not even be interested. They will just hear Nigeria, no thanks, or Africa, what's that? And that's what we want. That's not what we want, because in 29 years, Africa's population is going to double. So right now, it's about 1.2, again on paper, 1.2. Who knows what the real numbers are? But if we go by 1.2 billion, by 29 years, it's going to be 2.4 on paper. In reality, maybe it's going to be 4. Who knows? I don't know. And by the year 2100, 1 in every 4 human is going to be African. So the population is exploding. Therefore, a lot needs to be done. Anyway, Yomi, there's so much we can literally talk about, but take another time to have this, to go even deeper. We're going to take it one after the other, I suppose. We're going to definitely look into energy and deep dive into the whole refinery issue, because this is something that, like I said, you and I were within the same space. And so I'm an energy analyst, and I know all these issues going on with the refineries, and it just does not make any sense for countries that produce significant amounts of oil and gas to now take their crude out to refine somewhere and then bring it back in. It is just it's unheard of.
And it's even worse when the world is transiting, right?
And exactly. I was even going to go there. The world is on the clean side. You've got the renewables, the hydrogens, and the wind and the solar, and then you have the newer energies, the hydrogens and the geothermal, and of course, capturing of carbon and converting to the different types of hydrogen: the green, the gray, the brown, blue, turquoise, the different types, without confusing everyone listening, and red hydrogen as well. So we're definitely going to talk about this for sure, because this is something that Africa, especially Nigeria and Angola, they need to start looking into. Not necessarily converting immediately, because an immediate conversion is never going to happen, but using an energy mix, using the current hydrocarbon, possibly gas, because gas is seen as a cleaner version of the two, you know, and using the revenue from that to then, you know, improve on the new energies and also the renewables. But we're definitely going to take this at another time. I've so much enjoyed our conversation. Thank you. Thank you. A big thanks to our listeners. There's so much for us to talk about. Again, I would encourage you to listen to this and drop your comment. Let's hear what you have to say. Let's hear your questions, because these are very key points that Abayomi has actually talked about. These are really, really, really important stuff that we need to start questioning ourselves as youths of, you know, Nigeria, or youths of Africa even. You know, we may live in different parts of the world. However, at the end of the day, home is still home, and we need to preserve that, you know, by all means necessary. And that means we need to make things right. And, you know, as Abayomi said severally, you know, what was the word you used? Lack of consequences, right?
Yeah, consequence management.
Consequence management, exactly. Consequence management. That's a new one that I need to start using a lot, because yeah, that is exactly what it is, you know. So if there was consequences, people would not be doing, you know, things and just getting away with it and just, you know, kicking and having a good time and laughing like, hey, I can do what I want and no one is going to question me. No, it's not going to be business as usual. Things need to change. So a big thanks to all our listeners today. And until next time, it's Bim from BlueSitron. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.